I discovered this site on a hike, and it's the Billy the Kid Hideout, and we can help protect it. It's the two puppies up to the hitching post, and here we can see that hidden away is the hiding place of Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid Hideout. There's a ring of stones with some firewood, but it hasn't been set to fire yet. And there's an official sign by the Bureau of Land Management that you can barely see. It says, "Do not violate or vandalize." It says, "Do not vandalize, damage this site." And there's a $5,000 fine. You can't quite read the fading writing, but it says a $5,000 fine for any vandalism of this site. So right now the site is pretty well hidden, except that recreational vehicles are coming up over that rise right there. And they're parking over here, so it won't be long until unsupervised children and strange adults. Now there's a hole leading into the cave that was dug out, and that's to allow the air passage, I am surmising. I want to point out that this door originally had blacksmith hinges. Now it's got hinges that you would buy in Lowe's or Home Depot. You can see here that you can enter the cave, and there's a pipe sticking up here where you could start a fire, and then behind here is a hole to let the air out and let the air in as the hot air rises. I wouldn't recommend it, but people have been laying in here for a century and cooking their meals, etc. So just get a sense of what it's like to close the door. And you pull this rope in and secure it. And now it's here, but you can still see the dugout, the planks on the top, and you could stay in here and hide out from a posse. And that's, in theory, what Billy the Kid was doing in the Billy the Kid Hideout. This is up in the rolling hills of the East Mesa, and the top is pretty delicate, so I wouldn't go jumping up and down on it, or you'll get that $5,000 fine. And it looks like the Bureau of Land Management has built a nice bench or table here that you can use for sitting. I use it to sit and drum. So it's pretty well hidden away. If you look around, all you see is the terrain. So really good activity here. We'll close up the door and respect the property rights of the Bureau of Land Management. Now this is public land, and my hope is that people will develop an appreciation for the Billy the Kid Hideout and engage in public support to declare this place an historical landmark in Doña County and the city of Las Cruces. And that's what I'd like to see happen here. So instead of it getting pillaged and trampled and ruined as people disobey the law, which they tend to do all over the East Mesa. I've shown you pictures of the pond where they're actually burning the trees, the hackberry and the sumac trees, ripping off the branches, making firewood. So if that happens here, to light this fire. It's a $5,000 fine if you can catch the culprits. But like Billy the Kid, people hide out here and may not be respecting what's called the commons of public land, public water, public spaces, public historical sites that are part of the history of the United States and the settling of the West. Billy the Kid, just so you know a little bit about him, if you go to Lincoln, New Mexico, you'll get the stories there of how Billy the Kid was hiding out, running from the law, and it happened in New Mexico that corrupt politicians and corrupt sheriffs were taking the land away from the farmers. Here you can see where the blacksmiths originally had a really nice hinge and the door was turned over the other way. We'd like to see this restored. And so what Billy the Kid, the reason he could hide out for so very long and escape Pat Garrett, the sheriff, and Pat Garrett's death site is just a few clicks here from this location in the East Mesa. So both Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett would have been climbing around looking for one another or evading one another. And I'll just go up here on the hill real quick so you can see how close we are to what I call the ephemeral pond. If you see in the distance there, that's the last remaining hackberry tree that hasn't been burned yet by vandals. I'd like to see the same $5,000 fine imposed, but that's not Bureau of Land Management land. That is the state land run by the state, part of the Department of Interior, but allocated to the state. And here you get a view of the two puppies and the hideaway place. So please, if you come and visit, and you can see the roads illegally made, motor vehicles are not allowed off the main road, the gas pipeline road. They are not allowed to go on the trails, but they go anyway. And it's an expansion of urbanization and a recreational vehicle industry that unless this site is protected and declared a sacred historical site, it won't last the summer. This is David Boje reporting from East Mesa, Doña Ana County, city of Las Cruces, where it's up to you what is going to be the future of public water and public land in the commons. Thank you very much.